Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Good Morning Vietnam by Barry Levinson, starring the great Robin Williams. I am a little familiar with Levinson's work as I've watched and reviewed one of his films on the channel, Rain Man, starring Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. It was fantastic. I highly recommend it. Please check it out when you have the time. I'll leave a link up there somewhere. About Good Morning Vietnam, I've known about this film for the longest time, but I've never actually had the chance to watch it. I know that it's a war comedy about a radio DJ in Vietnam during the war. I believe it's considered one of Robin Williams's better performances, but I'm more interested in seeing a comedy movie play out in a war setting. I want to see how the director tries to make the audience laugh during a literal war. It's a very difficult thing to do, a fine line between comedy and crossing that line. Then again, I don't honestly believe that there should be a line in the first place. I strongly believe in freedom of speech, and people should be allowed to make fun of pretty much anything, especially if they don't have any bad intentions. Also, I'm not very easily offended, but before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 220 movies now, holy crap. 2 TV shows, early access, and a weekly post for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video. Dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Good Morning Vietnam. Levinson, Williams. Let's go.
And now an item of special note.
Robin Williams. Ooh, Forrest Whitaker. I didn't know Forrest Whitaker was in it.
Due to a yearly mail rush at that time, don't disappoint your...
That was an interesting cut.
Major Kleiner requests that you do not describe your duffel as all duffels look alike.
Such dry humor. And look at Robin Williams. He's not even dressed in military uniform.
I'm Private First Class Edward Montesquieu Garlick at your service, sir.
Well, first thing, Garlic, is you got to requisition a new name.
I wonder whether this movie was shot on location or not. I actually haven't been to Vietnam, but I've been to a lot of surrounding countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, also Malaysia.
Mayday, Dragon Lady with incredible figure at 11 o'clock. Stop the car.
I can't do that, sir.
Oh, Edward, you understand.
We have a very important meeting with the top brass.
There she is again. How did she get ahead of us?
It's another person, sir.
Quite the character, Robin Williams.
Look, I caught his show on the Isle of Crete, and this guy is funny.
The general likes Robin Williams' character, whereas this Dickerson guy doesn't.
Sergeant Major Dickerson. That's another story altogether.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this Dickerson man has a good sense of humor.
Garlic, have you put on some weight?
I don't think so, sir.
My son, they shot up your ass for weight 20 pounds.
I'll work on that, sir.
Comedy is a kind of hobby of mine. Reader's Digest is considering publishing 2 of my jokes.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Man, do you remember the days Reader's Digest was relevant? I used to have stacks of those magazines back in the day.
This is not military issue, Airman. What sort of uniform is that?
Cretan camouflage. If you want to blend into a crowd of drunken Greeks, there's nothing better.
That is humor. I recognize that.
He's like a robot.
I had a guy like you in the field one time. He blew himself to pieces.
I also see his point.
You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me...
Also, the director is setting him up as the antagonist, I'm guessing.
What time is it, Edward?
It's 5:30.
It's been about 10 minutes. We're still getting introduced to the characters. There hasn't been any conflict yet, except introduction of that Dickerson character.
Department of Defense wants final say. So every item's checked by these 2 guys in here.
Oh,
Guys?
All the news is being filtered and censored by the government. I'm sure Robin Williams' character will have a problem with that.
Listen, could you do me a favor? Can you say something funny right this minute?
I doubt it.
I'm with you, man. I'm on your frequency.
Good morning, Vietnam!
There it is.
Denying me, why don't they get a rope and hang me?
Morning Vietnam. What the heck is that supposed to mean?
Hawk doesn't find it funny.
We've got it on the wrong speed. For those of you who are recovering from a
Excellent at improvising.
Let's play this backwards and see if it gets any better.
Look, there's Niviv, ready as a devil. Look, there's Niviv, ready as a devil.
I like that. He's referencing a lot of 60s and 70s songs where if you play it backwards, they had different meanings. I think one of the Pink Floyd songs had something like that.
What is a demilitarized zone? Sounds like something out of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, no, don't go in there. You've landed in Saigon. You're among the little people now. We represent. No, little G.I., you and your little doo-doo, too. Adrian.
Man, Robin Williams is so good.
I don't find him funny at all.
I'm stationed in Poontang. Well, thank you, Roosevelt. What's the weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot.
Yeah, knowing Robin Williams' body of work, I'm pretty sure he's improvising a lot here. I like this song too.
What's the difference between the Army and the Cub Scouts? Cub Scouts don't have heavy artillery. Something real special right now. We've got our traffic report up there on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. How's it going up there? Adrian, it's not going exactly well. There's a water buffalo jackknife up there.
The king of improv, Robin Williams. I love this song. Game of Love.
Thank you for that lovely tune.
Let me guess. People love his show, but he's going to get reprimanded by superiors, especially that Dickerson character. They loved it.
Daddies,
Oh, we already are.
just cool your tongue, Airman, because I intend to take issue with your performance.
Of course you are, Hawk.
Don't make fun of the weather here. In fact, it's 2 degrees cooler today than yesterday.
2 degrees cooler. Me without my muff.
Bob likes a big room, sir.
That is not funny.
What is funny is nobody takes him seriously.
The former VP will be here on Friday.
Seeing as how the VP is such a VIP, shouldn't we keep the PC on the QT? Because if it leaks to the VC, you can end up an MIA, and then we'd all be put on KP.
Doesn't even have a comeback to that.
This is the place where we like to hang out, sir.
Right. At the moment of the water break and thing.
No, and it doesn't look good, Jimmy.
There she is. Any girl who wants me this bad, I can't let her down. The hunt is on. Oh.
Williams' character has very poor impulse control.
Hi, how's Lynn doing? Listen, let me make it up to you by buying a cup of coffee. Also, tea would fall into that category.
Get the tea, okay.
I also have to give a shout out to Forrest Whitaker's character, Garlic. He slipped in this role so well.
A whole life passed before my eyes, and it wasn't even interesting to me.
How am I going to get to first base with this girl?
You're not. This is a very different culture.
Good point, Garlic.
Talk about today is shopping. Shopping for dinner.
He's just literally walking in the class.
I have 2 months to live, and I would like to teach before I die.
He's going to con his way into becoming a teacher.
It's all yours. You got it.
Well, bribe his way.
I'd like to get to know all of you by having you write down your name, address, and your home and work phone on a piece of paper and passing it forward. Try that one. Say,
Hey, baby, what's happening? Let's groove.
Hey, baby, what?
At least he got some laugh.
You forget the girl.
I'll let her say no.
She's my sister.
Oh, that's his sister.
You phony. Like American and Frenchy for you. Here to get something, leave it when you not get it.
But hey, I like the class, so I'm gonna stay. Let's be friends, okay? Come on.
You like me because of my sister.
No, I like you because you're honest.
Sometimes your face looks like a fish in the Gulf of Thailand.
It's true. It's very true.
He does have an expressive face, doesn't he?
I know Americans. And they put her in a fancy car, and they buy her some expensive food, and then try to take her into a bed.
Sounds about right. It is more devout, more conservative.
You see? You don't trusting me. You want to be my friend, you're trusting me.
Hey, I'll eat it. Bigger.
God!
I want to introduce you to someone right now from my English class. This is Tuan, the guys.
Hey!
How you doing? Come on over here. She comes. This is how
I don't know what to think of this, but let's see where it's going.
I said, who brought in the fucking goose?
Ooh, that's the G word.
I did. Hey, come on now.
Okay.
Everybody say go, but all right.
Well, as long as you're making money, my man.
Who has absolutely no penis.
Oh man, it's Dickerson.
These two behemoths for physically abusing a Vietnamese national. I thought since we're here to defend the...
So you start a brawl. Do you see anything on this uniform indicating an officer? What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning.
Baseball.
What can I say but hiya?
Oh, censor. Join the army and mark things.
They don't want any bad news to get out. I'm also really enjoying the soundtrack for this film. Most of the songs, if not all of them, are straight from the 60s.
To Walter Cronkite. Walter, what's the weather like? I just want to begin by saying to Roosevelt.
Even though I'm not from Walter Cronkite's time, I do recognize his voice.
Tomorrow, a chance of continued crappy with a pissy weather front coming down from the north.
What the hell was that? Crappy weather, shitty weather?
Comedy, sir.
You are not funny, but you are a maniac, and you better start changing your life.
The dictionary under asshole, it says see him.
Why am I here?
Oh, another classic song. This certainly isn't a cheap film. I'm not quite sure whether they're shooting a location or not, but this is clearly not a cheap production with all the helicopters and sets and costumes.
Sarcasm, sir.
Up in Bergen County.
Well, that's a form of humor, sir.
Hackensack.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of people actually thought it was Cronkite himself.
If someone is not telling the truth, you say that they are full of...
Crap.
Where do you come from?
Queens. Bayside Queens.
What are queens?
Tall, thin men who like show tunes. No?
I make a date with you and train tomorrow.
Oh,
But I warn you, you might like it when you get there.
but it looks more like a group date. This kind of reminds me of the scene from The Godfather.
You see, I'm not used to going on a date with a grand jury, and it makes me a little nervous. Hey, listen, I know there's no way. But it doesn't mean we can't have a few laughs.
And that's a moment of honesty right there.
That's a game for me and you now. Yeah, let's give it a whirl.
Some serious cultural differences. You're just trying to be polite.
Hey, they come at you right now. Pope actually found to be Jewish. Liberace is Anastasia, and Ethel Merman jams Russian radar. The East Germans today claim that the Berlin Wall was a fraternity prank.
None of this is real news.
Former Vice President Richard Nixon's in town. That's right. The big dick is here. Get ready. I tell you this. Now listen.
Yeah, this is a fairly lighthearted film so far.
Well, we ask people, are you the enemy? And whoever says yes, we shoot them.
This is peak Robin Williams.
Nixon's press conference.
Well, wait till you hear it. He's this far from sincerity.
They're already doubting Nixon's sincerity back in the mid-60s. Interesting.
Where do you imagine you're going?
You like it? I got it in Hong Kong.
Oh, Jimmy. Never change.
How would you describe your testicles?
That they're soft, but that they're shallow, but they have no purpose. How would you do that? By plane, by helicopter.
That's some commentary about drugs being shipped from Vietnam to the US during the war.
I want to see him ASAP.
What, sir?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. We simply need to consider taking him off the air.
He's the first man in the history of Armed Forces Radio to get fan mail.
I love how the general is defending him, Taylor.
The former VP is a good man and a decent man.
Bullshit. He lugs a trainload of shit behind him that would fertilize a cyanide.
Do you really expect me to run this radio station with nothing to say and no way to do it?
Right now, yes.
This is not over yet.
They're going to come up with a plan, I bet, to get him off the air.
Why are you still here?
Sparky home.
She do liking you. She want to meet you today. It's not far from here.
I can't. I gotta be back on the air again at 4.
You have to meet her today.
What about bananas?
No.
No, that doesn't say the right thing. You're right. How about...
Holy crap! What an explosion! That was a real explosion. And that was actually Robin Williams walking away. Dude. But, oh man, okay. People are dead. 3 girls were wounded. 2 were killed. Oh man. I wonder how this incident will change him as a person.
What do you think you're doing? It's the truth. I just want to report the truth. It'd be a nice change of pace.
What's going on here?
It's being censored. they don't want to report the bombing.
This is not official news, Airman. As far as I'm concerned, it didn't happen.
It did happen.
You shut your mouth.
The absolute calm before the storm.
Good morning, Vietnam! Easy match. So,
You see the nuance in his performance? He's not smiling, but he's still joking. Wow.
one thing that didn't officially happen was a bomb didn't officially explode at 14:30 hours, unofficially destroying Jimmy Waugh's Cafe.
Get him out of there.
Oh man, he's gonna get in so much trouble. Again, the silence. And just think about it, like if the news was cut just like that, wouldn't the soldiers be even more curious to find out the truth?
Sir, the man is a walking keg of dynamite.
Who'll do the chronometer?
Well, Hal can do it, sir, till I find a replacement.
Hawk with his dry sense of humor.
My village is not too far from here. You can come there for resting. You can see how we live. You see a train there.
I'll drive.
The moment he hears Trin's name.
I'll do fine. Comedy is what you make it. I've got pages and pages of great material.
Oh man, can't wait to see him bomb.
Listen, Frenchie, let me ask you something. Do you like good food? Then I guess that would make you an Edie Gourmet. Oh, Lieutenant.
It's so bad it's good.
Sometimes Stan gets mad at me and he could out-hurt.
He's not even timing the honks right. Polka music, like from the 40s and 50s.
I think some apologies are in order.
And he thinks he did a good job. Things are a little too quiet. Something bad might happen. What I find more interesting, how the local Vietnamese people look at the Americans with almost contempt, but also resignation, for lack of a better word.
We no future together now.
Yeah.
My country, maybe no
I
future.
mean, she has bigger problems to worry about. I mean, he did see the other side of war, so I think his character is understanding. She has bigger problems to worry about, like survival.
They want Cornell back. He's an exhilarating personality, and polkas are just no substitute.
Captain Hawk sucks the sweat off a dead man's balls. I have no idea what that means, sir, but it seemed very negative to me.
Very colorful description.
Sir, if it is my programming choices, I can change.
Men want him back? I want him back. Lieutenant, you don't know whether you're shot, fucked, powder burnt, or snake bit. I don't care about polkas. They're riding in way.
In my heart, I know I'm funny.
The actor playing Hawk is very good. You have to be very good to portray a character who's not funny while being funny.
Don't call me sir. I can't even make fun of Richard Nixon, and there's a man who's screaming out to be made fun
There's
of.
some social commentary here which are still relevant today about being censored and cancelled, what's considered inappropriate, and what you can't joke about. I like that, because there's a whole debate going on about stand-up comedy nowadays. I strongly disagree with that, by the way.
I can't believe you! What? That's it? People are depending on you!
That's two nasty words in 1 year. Forgive me.
I mean, Forrest Whitaker is such a versatile actor. I've seen The Last King of Scotland on the channel, which was fantastic. He plays Idi Amin, the African dictator. I think he won the Oscar for that role.
Hey, Colonel, say good morning, Vietnam.
Hey, we'd like to welcome you to Vietnam, the country that is more stimulating than a strong cup of cappuccino or an espresso enema.
I like the editing in this scene. Between his jokes, we see the reaction of the soldiers and how happy his comedy makes them. The editing has been fantastic so far.
Where are you from?
I'm from Cleveland, man.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Obviously, Vietnam's not that much of a change for you then.
Ouch. We get some sympathetic music. This is what I mean by lyric performance. He's smiling on the outside, but we can see what he's feeling on the inside, and that's what Robin Williams does so well.
Good morning, Vietnam!
He's back. What a wonderful world. Louis Armstrong, another classic. What a soundtrack.
The bright, blessed day.
What a wonderful world.
Also on the faces.
Being shot to death just like that. There's a clear parallel of the difference of what we're being shown, violence, and the very lighthearted music. Also in Robin Williams' performance, he smiles sometimes, but you can see the man behind the smile. I don't know too much about the Vietnam War. I've had Vietnamese friends, but they're from later generations, so I don't know how Vietnamese people generally felt about the Americans around that time. I'm guessing not the best.
I'm informing you that you're out of here. I want your bags packed and ready to go tomorrow afternoon.
Why is he being reprimanded even further?
Your friend is a VC terrorist. He's currently wanted by the South Vietnamese police in connection with several bombings in the area, including the one at Jimmy Wa's.
Dude, Tuan is secretly a VC? Is that true? Or is that propaganda?
Didn't you ever wonder why you were pulled out just moments before the whole place blew up?
Good point.
Or are you normally not that inquisitive? I don't recommend that you tangle with me on this one, Airman. There's not too many high-ranking officers would be sympathetic to a serviceman with links to terrorists.
I like what you do. Most of all, I like what you've done for men. But facts are facts.
Even the general can't defend him now. Things are way beyond his control at this point.
You're in more dire need of a blowjob than any white man in history.
At least he got the last laugh, right?
Dick, I'm transferring.
Dickerson is also getting transferred?
Dick, I've covered for you a lot of times because I thought you was a little crazy. But you're not crazy. You're me.
Good for you, General Taylor.
More dire need of a blowjob than any white man in history. That's funny.
His life is in danger. You gotta tell me where the hell he is.
No, I don't.
Bullshit! No more games, okay?
That was the first outburst of the film.
Found Doctor!
He knows he's been made.
You, my friend. I trusted you.
And now they tell me that my best friend is the goddamn enemy.
Enemy? What is enemy? We're not the enemy. You the enemy.
You used me to kill 2 people.
My mother is dead.
Jeez.
And my other brother, who be 29 years old. Why? Because we're not human to them.
What a scene.
We're only little enemies. And I'm stupid enough to save your bullshit life I don't like.
He did save his life because he does respect him. But his entire family's dead. His friends are dead. That was a truth bomb, if you ask me.
We're here to help this country.
And a reality check. He's all packed up and ready to go. At least the movie's ending on a higher note. Adrian is playing one last game with his English class, I think. Big waste of food, if you ask me. But it's funny.
I want to say goodbye before you go. We are so different.
I think the director is trying to say that they might be different, but they share one thing in common. That's humor to some extent, and a certain amount of mutual respect. Yeah, a new bunch of recruits are arriving, and the wounded are being shipped off.
Says goodbye to everybody staying behind.
I'll take care of it pronto, sir.
You could get in trouble for that.
One last broadcast. I like the fact that this movie didn't have an outright bad guy. I mean, it had an antagonist, but not a real bad guy.
Goodbye, Vietnam!
Goodbye, Vietnam!
Remember the people who brought you Korea. That's right, the U.S. Army. If it's being done correctly...
I heard that. Oh, you're here. Good to see you. I'm here to make sure you don't say anything controversial.
Wow. What an amazing film. And I love how tastefully they handled the subject matter. Dan Levinson did a great job in walking that fine line. Wow. Okay, I took a little time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a wonderful film. It's a Robin Williams classic in my opinion. His performance was among my top 3 favorite films from him, the other 2 being Good Will Hunting and Dead Poets Society. I've reviewed both of these movies on the channel, so please check them out when you have the time. And if you have any other Robin Williams recommendations, please leave it in the comments below. Although the directing here by Barry Levinson was very good, the main highlights, they had to be the writing, the humor, especially from Williams, the soundtrack, the social commentary, and the editing. I don't think this film had any outright weaknesses, to be honest, but if I were to really look and nitpick a lot, I'd say that the focus was a little too narrow. By that I mean the story was completely from Adrian's point of view. I wish we got to see a little bit more of the Vietnamese side of things, but that's something very, very minor. Let's start with the directing by Barry Levinson and the script by Mitch Markowitz. The story here was kept fairly lighthearted for the most part, and of course that's to be expected from a comedy film. Things do take a darker turn in the third act when Adrian sees the other side of war after he was ambushed and stuff. Instead of discussing the plot point by point, I wanted to talk about a couple of points, starting with Robin Williams's his performance. It was incredible. It was nuanced and layered, especially in the darker or more serious scenes. You could see even when Williams was smiling, his eyes were telling a different story altogether. That skill in itself, it's award worthy. Not a lot of actors can pull that off. Plus, his improv, his impressions, his comedy timings, they were second to none. I liked how his character changed over the course of the film. That's good writing, good character development. How he overcomes all his criticisms while keeping a smile on his face. To seeing the realities of war with his own eyes. How that betrayal from who he thought was his friend, Tuan, was actually a lesson in disguise. That betrayal really changed him. The fact that Tuan's sister, Adrian's love interest here, it didn't work out at the end. And that was also a good narrative choice in pointing out the cultural differences between these people and how Adrian comes to learn and accept that and even move on from that to some extent. I also liked how the Vietnamese people were portrayed here in general. I don't know how accurate that was, their sentiments that were being shown. But I do appreciate the fact that the director here, Levinson, took his time to show us everyday people living their lives and also show us cities and villages being burned and bombed. I like that. They could have easily been completely ignored, but the director didn't do that. There were no outright bad guys in the movie, like I said, even though I didn't like that Dickerson character or even Hawk to some extent. I do see their point here following the rules of the military and their overall perspective, which was a rigid military structure. I do see some benefit in that, so I don't think they were outright bad guys. I do think the real villain of the film was censorship. That's a bold statement from the filmmakers, and I completely agree with them here. Truth and free speech and all. A quick shout out goes to two other performances which I really enjoyed. One was from Forrest Whitaker, who slipped into his role so well. I forgot it was him for a moment there. Running gags like starting the car over again or his nervous laugh really brought that character to life. The other was Bruno Kirby, who played Hawk, the not so funny DJ. It takes a pretty solid actor to portray an unfunny character in a very funny way, and I'm glad Kirby was up for the challenge. I haven't seen this actor before. I'll have to look him up afterwards. Moving on to the editing and social commentary, which weirdly go hand in hand in this movie. The editing during the montage scenes was excellent because not only were we hearing hilarious monologues from Adrian, Robin Williams, those scenes were cut with everyday Vietnamese life, or later in the film, more violent scenes of war. That I felt really put things in perspective, gave the characters a reality check. And speaking of montages, the soundtrack of this film was so good. It was exceptional. I recognized a lot of the songs here. The songs felt appropriate, and I feel like they really added some much needed depth to this movie. For example, when Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World was being played, we saw the bombings and horrors of the world. Stuff like that, they really caught my attention, and both my eyes and ears were not bored for a second. Since I don't have any real criticisms here, overall, Good Morning Vietnam was a Robin Williams classic, easily among his best films. Barry Levinson's direction here was only surpassed by Williams's humor and improv. The amazing soundtrack by I don't know who did the soundtrack, but it was amazing. The social commentary, the differences in culture, the realities of war, and how respectfully the filmmakers handled comedy in such a dark setting. Robin Williams was a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and he will be missed. If you have any other recommendations for him or Levinson, please let me know in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.